Hi, I'm Robert Nielsen at the University of Georgia. I'm in the University of Georgia's fantastic Center for Teaching and Learning, working with staff here and with staff at the Office of Online Learning, using some fantastic technologies instead of sitting down for tea with you in Seattle. I wish I were there. I enjoy that conference, and I hope to see you next year. But I want to say thank you for this wonderful award. It was a nice surprise to receive an award for a paper that was sincerely a pleasure to write. It allowed me to think about the people who were most important in my career development, and I really enjoyed it. So the title of the paper is Launching a Research Career, T-15 and Counting. And in this paper, I chronicle some of my experiences as a graduate student and as an early career member at the University of Georgia. So I hope you can find it interesting if you happen to take a look in the FCSRJ 44.1 pages 12 to 20. There will be a quiz at the end. A few propositions that I'd like to highlight from the paper. I'll put those on the board first. So the 5 propositions that I have for graduate students, and should mention that these were solidified over the last few years in my role as the graduate coordinator here in our department, is that learning occurs primarily outside the classroom when it comes to research. We learn a lot in the classroom, but it's those experiences outside the classroom with our mentors and peers that really informs our research ability later on. The second is that it's often uncomfortable. Learning is often uncomfortable and involves a lot of criticism, a lot of critique, and a lot of sharing of ideas that aren't yet well formed. It's a difficult process. The third is that successful learners often point to their mentors. And one of my favorite authors, Wallace Stegner, notes, "I think we do a good deal of harm to ourselves with this myth of pioneering self-reliance. I grew up in pretty frontier circumstances, and what let us survive was not self-reliance, but the cooperation of neighbors." And that certainly informs the research process and the learning process in graduate school. Fourth, formal mentors in graduate school are critical and should inform the choice of one's committee. And I like to say it often helps determine whether or not we launch or fail to launch a research career. And fifth, write and rewrite constantly and take those criticisms to heart, incorporate them into your document, make it better. Never send a third or even a fourth draft out. Make sure other eyes have seen it. So what about early career suggestions? So if you're early career and trying to establish your research prominence in your field, a few keys to keep in mind that I think came in handy for me and some I wish I would have handled a little better. First is the need for mentoring continues, and this is especially critical when it comes to informal mentors, those who you are not working with directly, but have the experience and expertise to help inform your work and serve as a critical judge before you send your work out and as you're thinking about your own research. The second, establishing topical and methodological expertise. I am mightily impressed by the folks who are topical experts in their field, who use cutting-edge methods to investigate their ideas. Those are the folks who really impress me. Third, cultivating the network of capable peers and, again, informal mentors. I've been blessed here at the University of Georgia of having a group of peers who challenge my ideas, who are wonderful sounding boards, and that extends outside of the University of Georgia to one of my favorite informal mentors who should be at this tea, Sharon Devaney, who for almost 20 years has been an informal mentor to me in my research growth. And then the last one, managing competing demands. As an assistant professor, you face not only these research demands, but teaching demands on your time and service demands on your time that often offer more immediate and satisfying rewards than research process might. So focus on that longer term goal. The research process takes much more time than delivering a solid class on Friday, and sometimes that's difficult to keep in mind. So enjoy the rest of the tea. Thanks again. I will see you next year in Dallas if I remember correctly. Take care.